Hey guys, what's up? It is Public back with another video, and today we're bringing you some very up-to-date news on Devouring Plague. So, if you don't know, we got Devouring Plague back added into the game into Shadowlands. It is one of our main sources of damage. It's almost always #1, even in kind of depending on the AoE scenarios or your talents it can drop, but generally speaking, it's a big spell. The problem is we've had a lot of concerns about how it feels to press during certain situations, specifically when we have a lot of insanity, right? So right now, if you go into void form, especially if you have Surrender to Madness active, you are actually losing some damage, or actually kind of wasting damage is probably the better term there, because Devouring Plague just refreshed itself if you cast it. So basically meaning you lost damage, right? The dot lasts for 6 seconds. If you cast it again while that dot is not done yet, you've lost some ticks. So Blizzard's actually addressed this in the latest beta build and PTR build. So let's go over what that change is and why it's freaking awesome, to say the least. Okay, so Devouring Plague has been updated to change how it's refreshing. So a lot of people are calling this the Ignite behavior, although I'm not sure if that's the best term to use here. It's actually quite unique. There is, as far as I can tell, there's nothing else in the game that works quite the same way. But theoretically, the way that this is supposed to work, and on beta it is a little iffy right now, but basically, when you have Devouring Plague already active on a target, and then you cast another one, what it does is actually takes that remaining damage of the existing Devouring Plague, and then adds that to the new dot's ticks, and then kind of spreads out over that time period, right? So it's a little complicated, but basically the point here is that we're actually not losing damage by recasting Devouring Plague now. This doesn't actually change our rotation, at least not too very much. It just feels a lot better because we know that recasting Devouring Plague on a target outside of that pandemic window is now, we actually get benefit from doing that. That is a good thing. So all these abilities that do kind of have this problem right now where we're getting too much insanity, theoretically should now get better because we're actually able to spend that extra insanity in a better way. So this will actually probably take me a few days, if not a bit longer, to get working inside of SimC. It's actually a very challenging spell to do because of how it works. I mentioned it is a little unique to things. The crazy part with this is it's still hasted. So I don't know if this is going to stay the same way it is now, but the dot itself, you actually do get more ticks, and you actually, I guess, then consume more ticks when you already have a Devouring Plague, depending on your haste values. There's still some tests to be done about exactly like edge cases of how that works, but because of that, it does work a little differently than, say, a Fire Mage's Ignite or a few other spells that have worked with this kind of consumption ignite residual effect before. So more to come on that exactly, but the big thing to know here is that we're actually getting a lot more benefit out of things like Surrender to Madness or Void Form's now gotten a lot much better. And it just makes that so much nicer in the rotation. The actual flow of it is very nice. The very interesting too here that I'm curious about specifically is, this has been kind of a contentious point of like, this is probably the last thing we needed to make Shadow really feel great to play. So I think if anyone was kind of on the fence about playing Shadow, this is the time to try it out. You have a pretty great rotation from an end-to-end perspective, whether it's AoE, single target, if you have a lot of insanity, if you don't have much insanity. There's a lot of ways the rotation really helps you out here, and this is a big change for that. So I will link some logs in the description if you guys want to check that out. There is lots of things to look at here. But for now, guys, the big thing to know is that Blizzard has listened to what we've been asking. They changed Devouring Plague. This was a great change. So you have logs in the description. Sims will be a little while. Like I said, it's a little tricky of a change to get in, but I'll keep you guys posted on if anything changes in Shadowlands, all right? Okay, and before I go, I actually want to make a small little announcement here. I didn't want to make too much of a big deal of this, but I've actually started my own Patreon page for all the work that I do between SimC, YouTube stuff, whatever it is. I kind of wanted... There was so much to do these days, and I was kind of grasping at straws a little bit on what content I should make or what I should focus on, or honestly what you guys want to see. Sometimes I ask in Discords, but it's hard to get like a good read on people. So I'm changing my model up a little bit to kind of see what people like. So thanks to all the patrons that are already supporting me. I'm very much to this day impressed that anyone likes what I put out there. So thank you so much. If you're curious, the link will be in the description. Nothing is changing in form of my content. Everything will still be free to view. The only difference is the patrons are going to help me kind of dictate what I work on kind of sooner rather than later as far as like a priority list goes, or maybe help me with some ideas, and then maybe get access to content a little bit early. So I just want to make that small little announcement, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video and all my other videos and just supporting me in general. I really appreciate it, guys. Anything you guys do really, really helps out. All right. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one.